Welcome once more to the Gerald Johan van Waals educational channel. Today it will be a shorter video, but I will present once more how my method of sounding for works. A little bit more demonstration how there is a mathematical method underneath, but there's an intuitive technique as well that you can learn. It's a little bit like you can learn how to paint by learning some of the theory, but you still have to have talent to combine these things. It's not just a rational element that you need there, but it's an intelligent element that you need to develop how to understand the combinations. And I will demonstrate it today. There's a mathematical method behind it, but that there is also something which you can learn intuitively, actually quite easily. But of course you have to practice a lot before you will make it worth it. The basics of my whole theory is actually also can be derived to something very simple. You know that everything that is energy can be translated to a wave, and into a wave. In a wave are three regions which are very important. It's the starting of the wave, it's a highlight where you can really sense, this is the pulse that we have, and then the decay or the end of this wave, and it will turn into something different or it will decay. So this is the choice. These three regions can also be compared to the horizontal plane, the vertical plane, and the diagonal plane. The horizontal plane where everything is new and you just put everything on a table. It all looks a little bit the same. But as soon as you really know, okay, I have here something which I can define, you are in the middle, in the vertical plane, and you can add there. I explain much more in detail in my book. And the diagonal plane is at the end of it. So you need also these three forms to express it perfectly if you're in that specific region. And all the vowels and consonants, they fit to one of these three regions. And these three regions are also the same as you can see there in the circle, as three regions in the circle. It's actually completely in the center and in the middle, or it is a little bit further away, so it is more focused on the volume or the whole material at the side of it, or it is at the edges, so where you have the third phase of these three phases. It is very simple basics, but it becomes complicated because all the letters they are not only are connected with these three regions, they are also connected with 9 numbers from 1 to 9. And of course it becomes more complicated if you have higher numbers. I'll explain all that, but I will make it simple today. The first one is a little bit like the first 3 letters. They are on with the number 1, so they are the most simple basics. Basics of the A in the center, always in the center. The T always on reduced to the volume or to a point on the volume, so that you can distinguish differences. And the K is really so much distinction that you realize there is something which must be different or something else. So this is a very, very simple way to express these 3 letters. Now I will explain how words, if they use the 3 letters or any letters, the order matters very much as well. So if you combine them in a different order, they mean something completely different. Here's an example, a very simple example. So if you take here, the first 3 examples are actually, so with the number 1 also means that you can, in just one point, you can grasp them. In one point, in a one-dimensional world, it's a point which resumes all what you know about it. And you can express it in one point, and that's enough. So with the 3 points, the right connection, you will of course get a 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional or whatever form, but you have to use the right order. So the K is the vertical, horizontal, diagonal. So in the right order, you can combine them with the word tak, which is a Dutch word which means branch. You will get a very simple form, which is actually, you can see the branches there. It's a different word than branch. Branch means something else, but that's not for today. If you use a different order of cat, which is the same word as the cat or in English, you get it for a different form. Even if you try to make a little bit of irregularity, try to add some small changes so that you can really realize what kind of forms that you get with this combination. You get forms that are very similar to a cat, but also to the a little bit to the more crystal-like combinations and triangle-like combinations that you get with the cat. It's very much on the outer edges that they connect, while the tak really connects from the center to the outwards. So just the other way around. So the word is also in the other way. It's in a completely different order. But if you play with it, and that you can do very easily, you will see how the tak as branches, they will go from the minimum point in the middle, and it goes outwardly. The word cat is, I only know one meaning of it, but the word tak is also yes in Polish, which seemed to be strange because it doesn't look like a branch, but it is really the minimal expansion that you can have from the middle outwardly. If you compare this word tak, for instance, with the Spanish and Italian word of yes, or si, it is very funny to know that the first three letters are T, A and K, while the last two letters in the order of numerical order, they are S and I. So that means that tak really stands for the minimal expression that you can express really and how it connects together, while si is the maximum expression. That way I can see how the yes can only be expressed in the warmer countries, where you can say, okay, I leave it open to whatever way it will go. That's my yes to life in full form. Tak is something else. For me, it expresses something that it is not a very good environment. Things are not going very well. So you only say yes when you're absolutely sure that it will make a connection. So it's a very different way of expressing the yes, and these yeses are actually also something completely different on the edges of the complete order of numerical letters. So we have tak as our branch, as the minimum form that we know. So let's take the tree then. I will use the Dutch word and the English word. The Dutch word is boom, so it uses the B. Here in this case it's not one center, but it has two centers. The two centers are at the edges, so the edges are a little bit expanding. They're trying to move itself outwardly, and it is this is space at the edges. That is the B. The O tries to find as much spaces for this as possible, while the M tries to fill it in as much as possible. So if you combine this, you can see the drawing at the left. Actually, you can understand the word boom or tree already. So boom is not much more than it is an expression of something that is expanding in all directions at once, and which is growing also in all directions at once. It doesn't show it always shows the top of the tree a little much more than that, which is a bit strange, but that's more or less the focus where it expresses the The inner expression of that, of the boom, is really this expansion. If you compare that with comparable words, so you have bomb, which is also Dutch, but in English it's bomb, written as bump, without pronouncing it really. But there you can see that the word, if you compare it with boom, bomb, the B has much more focus. So the three letters have a kind of direction. They want to go a direction, so they want to expand. But here the B, the starting point of the expansion, is hold back, and it is so it's, you can see how it makes the meaning of the word a little bit different. While boom, you hear the second letter, the emphasis is more on the second letter, so it's more emphasis on the space, not on the, like in the first one, on the potential expansion, but more on the spaces that it will form. So in the boom or the tree, that is what is important. Like boom, for instance, in Dutch it means an explosion. So it's actually with the emphasis on the last letter, boom, or with ooh. It's going in different directions. But if you have the English word a boom, you hear it already. The M is already longer, so the last letter is most dominant. So the boom is the expansion outwardly, not from the potential expansion like in the bomb, but it's already expanding. So the boom is the expansion. The boom is the whole process of expanding, and the bomb is the potential of the expansion. So there you can learn and feel and sense the words a little bit. There are three directions, and the three directions have a different emphasis just because the word is written differently already. Last comparison is with the word tree. So the T, we know already where it starts, in the vertical, somewhere 2/3 in the middle there it starts, and the R is in the simple way turning around and changing form all the time, and the E is goes in all directions. So the tree is also expressed as an English word this way. It's different than boom. Boom is really at the outward and in the spaces and so on. Tree is more, it goes, it's almost like a fractal. It sounds a little bit more intellectual. So I can also say like, okay, this language which expresses tree, or like arbre in French, it gives me the impression that these languages are a little bit more intellectual than, for instance, the Dutch language with the word boom, which sounds a bit primitive if you ask me. It's like it's just what it is. It's not more than a form which you can use like a farmer use a potato. Thank you for watching this one again. This is not completely expressed in my book, but some of it is, like the first letters there, the tak and the kat. This is expressed a little bit with more detail, and the boom and the bomb were expressed there as well, here with a little bit more explanation. If you want to find out, if you want to learn this method yourself, just find out by buying the book, reading the book. You can order it at Trafford, or just look at my website, which is written here. Thanks for watching again. Bye bye.